Our next speaker is Wayne Schoenberg. So thank you for being here.
I'm excited to be here.
I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much. All right, before we begin, can we all agree that we're just here really to have a good time? Yes. All right. We're going to talk about effective communication. Another thing that we have in common here today is that you don't have the slightest idea what I'm going to say, and neither do I. What is effective communication? I come here to this room filled with people who spend their lives communicating, spend their day lives communicating, their jobs communicating. And I was really impressed with everything that I heard. It's really nice to speak to a group of speakers because we speak a common language, we have common ideas, and that's important, and that's part of effective communication. We're going to talk about verbal a lot today. Written we're going to talk about a little bit because it's important in your jobs. How many of you prepare material for others, written material? Okay, most of you. Some of the earliest form of communication was, written communication, was going up on a mountain, having 10 commandments carved in the stone and bringing them down. It didn't work very well. So the change in written communication, email now has become extremely important. Email is one of the, statistics show that email is one of the most misunderstood forms of written communication that there is. When you write an email, I suggest that you use extreme caution in what you say. Texting is becoming more and more prevalent. I can't believe how much business is done by texting. But effective communication is getting this message to this person correctly. You all know as kids you played the telephone game. That's a game and it's fun, but it's totally demonstrative about what happens. And somebody else mentioned here correctly, everything that was said was correct, but somebody illustrated the point that listening is a big part of communication. Communication is two-sided. Have you ever had that situation where you come to somebody and you say, gee, I had a great time last night, I did such and such, and they immediately respond with, yeah, I did that too. I had that same experience, or I didn't have that same experience, or I like that, I don't like that. That's not what you call active listening. And active listening is a part of effective communication. So, barriers to communication. Anybody have any thoughts about barriers to communication? Yes, ma'am.
Distractions, email, people coming up to you, daydreaming, noise.
Okay, a lot of them. There's an old saying, by the way, for those of you who haven't heard it, it's called, there is no teaching, only learning. So the things that I say here today are really going out into the air. Some of you are going to absorb some of it, some of you are going to absorb others. You're going to learn what you need. And that's the same situation with the people that you're training, okay? But stay away from jargon. Cultural differences. I can't stress to you enough how cultural differences can affect effective communication. When you're presenting, you have to take all of that into consideration. When you're talking to one group of people about a certain subject, you have to be aware as you look around for others shutting you off, because it happens. Your job is to keep everybody entertained. I think we've accomplished what we set out to accomplish, which is having some fun. I hope that you've learned something. Thank you.